friends, it's Lisa. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to continue our conversation about how to start homeschooling. If you are new to homeschooling, this video is definitely for you. But if you are an OG homeschooler and you've been homeschooling for a few years, this video is also for you, maybe as a refresher, just to remind you of some of the resources that we have available and some of the things that you can do to ensure success along your homeschool journey. All right, let's get started. So first of all, to set the mood, right? Just came back from Trader Joe's, and in the last video, we talked about caring for self and figuring out what's important to you, what makes you feel good, taking care of yourself. One thing that I absolutely love is flowers. That's my love language. I love receiving flowers, I love giving flowers, and I love growing flowers. One day I will have a floral shop. One day I don't know if I'll have a floral farm, but I want to be able to sell flowers somewhere because I love them so much. So tell me, if you watched the last video about self-care, I'm hoping that you thought about implementing self-care for yourself. What have you done? What have you done to implement a bit of self-care on this journey? So step one is to take care of yourself, right? We already went through all of the things that you would need to do to take care of yourself. That is, in my opinion, gives you a jump start on being successful in homeschool. The second step is to care for your business, okay? Care for the business aspect of homeschooling. I feel like most of the things that we do have some aspect of business in it and things that we need to take care of. If we think about our home, as a whole, there's a business level of caring for and managing your home. Well, in homeschool, it's no different. There are things that you need to ensure that you take care of. In my opinion, those things can be broken down into two separate categories. So the first thing that I feel like you need to take care of from a business standpoint is the legal requirements. Every state is different. There are a group of states that are very similar to one another, but each state is unique in the fact that they have different requirements or lack thereof. Some states have more than others. So when looking into getting started homeschooling, I would say outside of taking care of yourself, making sure that you've prayed about this and that this journey aligns with the plan that God has for you in your life and your child or children's lives, the next thing you want to do is start researching your specific state. Now, kind of a disclaimer or a side note to this, if you're looking to move, I would research the state that you're looking to move into as well, because we want to make sure we're hitting those requirements too. Better safe than sorry. It's better to over prepare than to under prepare. And when you get to that state, you kind of are clueless on what to do. So I'm sure there are some different legalities to that, and you can find support and help with those as well. But I wanted to just mention that because sometimes you're in a bit of a situation where maybe you're military and you plan on moving to another state. Just make sure that you're taking care of yourself and, crossing all your T's, dotting all your I's. I want to just add that in there. But as far as the legal requirements for homeschooling for each individual state, some states, and I do want to say countries as well, because I know that we have some homeschoolers who are watching us in different countries outside of the United States. So make sure you look into what your country laws are as well. But some states require some notice, a little notice, no notice at all that you're going to be homeschooling. Some states require a letter of intent, which is telling the state what your intentions are as to pulling your student out of school or maybe never enrolling them into a traditional school setting. So a letter of intent is one that is often asked. States require that you register with the state saying what the name of your homeschool, like having an official registration within the state to say, I am operating as a homeschool, because homeschool is seen as a private school as well. So they want to know what school your student will be going to, who will be the educator, all of the things like that. So that is something that's also required sometimes. Some states require that you create a portfolio. They want your attendance records. They want to see the progress of your student. They want specific tests to be met, to be taken and passed at certain times throughout your homeschooling. Some states require that you homeschool for a certain amount of days throughout the year. So you want to make sure you're keeping track of your homeschooling days. Or maybe some might want a certain amount of homeschool hours that you need to homeschool. So timing is also very important. And some states actually require a list of specific subjects that you must complete, and the curriculum has to be to a certain level. So there's a lot of different requirements as you move throughout different areas that you are choosing to home educate. So you want to be aware of that. And my thing always is going to be over prepared than under prepared, right? Make sure that you're meeting the requirements that you need, even to a state that maybe you are considering moving to. You just want to make sure that you're crossing all your I's, or you're dotting all your I's, crossing all your T's. So be an overachiever, not an underachiever. Okay. All right. So that is my advice for you as far as making sure you understand what's required of you as the homeschool mom. How do you do that? Where do you go? I've mentioned this website before. You'll hear a lot of homeschool parents talk about this website, and that is because it's wonderful. It's simply wonderful. The website, I'm going to put the title of it right here, but it stands for the Homeschool Legal Defense Association, and it is wonderful. It is wonderful. If it's your first time knowing about it, I absolutely recommend that you add that as to a requirement for yourself on when you're looking and doing research, because it's really truly set up to give you pretty much everything that you need to know as far as resources and things like that. A nonprofit organization. It was created in 1983 to be an advocate for homeschooling families. So their main number one goal is to ensure that homeschool is an option here in the United States. So just making sure that our rights are protected as homeschooling families and that we have access to be able to home educate our babies. The second thing that I feel like is important is the financial aspect. The financial aspect is also something that I feel like is really important for you to look at before getting started. You want to know what you're getting yourself into, and you want to be able to plan so that you can be as successful as possible. While I will say there are unschoolers, there's homeschoolers, there's Charlotte Mason homeschoolers, there's so many different types of homeschoolers out there. You decide what type of homeschooler you want to be, but you also want to remember that there is going to be some level of budgeting that you want to do. Even if you try to get as much as you can free, you will see a bit of a difference, even if it's in your household expenses, right? Even if it's the basic needs, the pencils, the pens, the markers, the crayons, the glue sticks, the scissors, the rulers, things like that. If you want to use manipulatives, yes, you can use things in nature like counting rocks instead of counting little counter bears or things like that. Those things you can swap on, but there are going to be things that you will absolutely need to purchase. So please keep in mind that it does come with some of a cost, even at the most basic things. Like, yes, you can go to the library and you can get a library card, but you're going to need the gas to get to the library. Yes, you can join go to different free events, but you're going to need gas to get there. So economically, you're going to pay some money to homeschool your kids at some point. As far as home goes, you will see an increase in your grocery budget. You just will. When you think about it, you were sending your kids to school. If they were getting free lunch, reduced lunch, or maybe you were packing them a lunch every day, or you were paying for lunch, however that was. Your kids are now going to be eating every single meal at home. And let me tell you, it is expensive. Yes, indeed. I've tried everything I can think of. I've tried to not have a lot. It gets expensive. It definitely gets expensive. So please plan for that. Can you sit down? Can you sit down? I know you want to watch them. I gotta film. Look. Say hi. Say hi. I know for my husband, he saw an increase in our heating and our cooling bill because we were here more, of course. So those are things that you want to take into account, not just solely the curriculum, not solely the resources in the curriculum, but other things in the house are going to change as well. Your light bill is going to increase because you're home more. You're utilizing the lights more. People are actively in your home more. So just think about those things as well. Maybe budget for them a little bit more. When they're in a room, turn off a light. Right now, I don't have any lights on. I'm just using the lights from the natural light from the window, but that won't always be the case, right? So something else to consider is your home budget as well is going to see an increase. I've homeschooled 3 kids at once. It's generally from $500 to $1,000 is what we spent on curriculum. The older they get, the more expensive their curriculum gets. Yes, the books. However, the older they get, the less things you have to buy because you've already spent money on the resources. Does that make sense? So when they were younger, I purchased the counting bears, I've purchased little fractions, I purchased, little 3D shapes and things like that. So we don't have to buy those things again. I hang on to everything as much as I can, even as they get older, because you can use a lot of things as resources as they grow. So $500 to $1,000 approximately. I don't consider myself an overspender in homeschool. I really do. Like initially up front, you're going to spend more. So you're going to be closer to maybe like the $1,000 range because you're trying out and testing new curriculum. There are free resources out there. That's a whole separate video where we go over what curriculum is out there, what I've tried, what we've used, what's worked, what hasn't worked, why, all of that. I will get into all of that in another video. But as for this video, I just wanted to give you a rough estimate of about how much you're going to be looking at spending a year. And that is for all of my kids. That's for all three of them total together. It was anywhere from $500 to $1,000. Okay. The last thing that I want you to take into account when it comes to finances in homeschool is you're going to go on field trips, maybe, if that's what you choose. Going on field trip, getting out, letting your child actually get to see different things. Or another option is, which is another expense, we have a VR. So places that we can't visit physically, we can visit, utilizing our virtual reality, which is really cool. So we have that. Not something that you have to do. It's just another expense. Also, if you decide to join co-ops, there's usually fees associated with co-ops. We are not a part of any co-op. I have considered being a part of a field trip co-op where we go with them on different field trips, but we haven't joined any co-ops. That is a whole nother conversation for another day. Outside of field trips, co-ops, the kids are in extracurricular activities. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that my kids are probably in more extracurricular activities now than they would have been if they were in school, because I try to keep them busy without overexerting them and overextending like my ability to homeschool, home make, and take them to wherever they need to go. My high schooler is in a lot of extracurricular activities, and it does come with a fee, even though he is in a public school setting. Hi, what do you need? You want to go watch them outside? You got to look out the window. Go look out the window. Can you wait a minute? I'm going to open the door for you in 1 second, okay? The kids are outside with my husband, and Jace is training for basketball, and she wants to watch them, but I closed the front door so that I could film without like the sunlight coming from behind. So as soon as this video is over, I will go open the door for Layla so she can watch them. Something else to consider is if you're doing themes for your homeschool, you're going to be, that's going to be an extra cost. There was a time where I was doing a different theme every month. I don't do that anymore because I just don't have the capacity to do that, but it was fun and it was cute. But if you're doing themes, that is an extra cost. The kids, or Savannah took piano lessons very briefly while I was sick and I needed something for them to do. I used outsource, which is another option for resources. She took piano lessons briefly on there. So there's that. So, like buying them different things, like we wanted all of them to learn how to play the piano. We could not afford at that time to give them all piano lessons. So we just purchased the piano from Facebook Marketplace, plopped it in the house, and they figured it out from there. So they got on YouTube and they took some lessons on YouTube for free. So that's also an option. We wanted Jace to learn how to play the drums. We just bought the drums from Goodwill, put it in the house, set it up, and gave him some drumsticks. So, there's ways around doing things. And if they are eager to learn it, they will. And that's what he's done. So a lot of independent learning has worked as well. Okay, I'm getting off subject, but the most important thing that I wanted you to know, after you care for yourself and all of those things, make sure you're handling your business. If you need to create a portfolio where you need to keep everything together, you are doing that. Yes, that is something that I can go over. I just want to let you know that in advance. Like all of these video ideas I have in my head, I've wanted to do them and tackle them for so long. I have not been able to just because of my health. I'm finally at a place where I'm feeling better. I'm able to talk more and you're able to understand what I'm saying. It was a very difficult for a bit, and we're still working through some things. So I truly appreciate your grace and, allowing me to come back to YouTube and share with you guys. I had to get over some insecurities that I had. I feel much better about them now. So I wanted to thank you all for being here, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment below and let me know any other advice that you would have about business, caring for your business. Is there something that you feel like I missed or you want me to go in more depth about? I'm trying to keep up. I'm trying to record as much as I can to share with you guys. The next video that I have that'll be a sit-down video is going to be homeschool, or how to remove your child from a public school or traditional school setting, and then if you wanted to put them back in, how to go about putting them back in that. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe to this channel so that you're notified whenever I'm uploading a video or whenever new things are coming out about homeschool. I do create homeschool and homemaking content, so just all you have to do is look at the title and the thumbnail to see if you're interested. But I will be incorporating homeschooling and homemaking into one video as well when I do a day in the life. So those will be coming back as well. As always, thank you guys for being here. Until next time, take care, friends, and have a beautiful day. Bye.